people don't really realize how much control that they actually have over it, right? So our brain, at the end of the day, it filters through information based on what we focus on, right? So an analogy here that maybe many of you have heard this before or actually experienced this, but let's say that you're shopping for a new car, right? So you go and you look at all the different cars and you finally land on the dream car that you want, right? Or you land on the choice that you're going to go with, right? Now, in the days following getting the car back home, really getting acquainted and acclimated to the vehicle, you start to notice a few little things, right? You start to notice more of the same exact car that you just purchased, right? Or you start to notice more of the same car in the same color, right? Or just the same color car in general, right? We start to notice more about what we actually focus on, right? And the same thing can be said about our thoughts and our emotions. If we think about certain things for too long, we dwell on certain emotions for too long, it keeps us stuck in those repetitive cycles, and they're actually not healthy for us, right? And it's really an impact on the way that we focus on our mental health, right? So if we focus more on problems, we're going to have a ton of problems. But if we focus more on solutions to our problems, we're going to be more cognitively aware to actually finding solutions to the problems that we have. And I think there are just two different people in the world, right? There's pessimists and there's optimists, right? If you focus on problems, you identify as a pessimist. And if you focus on solutions, you focus on solving issues, right? So it's really, honestly, at the end of the day, it's not even a crazy science, honestly. But it is something that we inevitably fall into a trap, because I think it's actually easier to dwell on the things that we don't have or the negative aspects of our life. And I think that's why a lot of people just default to that space, because it's easier to complain about things. It's easier to say it's not my fault, right? Rather than take the right path forward in actually solving the issues that we have. But the focus that we put on different aspects of life, they have kind of big meanings on all aspects, like, right, like our relationships or the growth that we may want in our career, or, if you're an entrepreneur out there, if you wake up every day and you say, like, this is just really hard, I don't know if I want to do this, right? Going back to my last episode, you're just going to focus on that. You're not going to get up every day and strive for the best path forward, because it's just what you feel like you believe, right? And only when you shift that mindset and focus your perspective on more of a positive outlook, only when you do that is when you will start to see the fruits of that labor and really make the necessary shifts that you need to make to have a better path forward. And that comes with identifying what you're focusing on, right? So if you really recognize that you have habitual thought patterns that are negative to you, right? If you don't really realize it, then you're just going to stay in that constant flow state that's not really positive, right? But if you really focus on the positive aspect of what can come out of situations, right? If you look at things from a what could be rather than what is not frame, you're going to have a better time in navigating that path of not feeling down on yourself, right? And I'm not sitting here and saying all of this to say, like, you have to be positive Paul all the time, because it's not physically possible to do that. It's not mentally possible to always say, like, hey, yeah, this is shitty, but I'm going to act this way. Right? It's very, very easy for us to just fall into that negative loop. For me, and what I've learned personally, it's how long do you want to stay in that?